commentating, illustrating, description, giving, adjective experts, analyzing, summarizing, musical myth seekers, people of the universe. It's like the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. I heard that shit. I was like, what the fuck?
In the shadows of the city, where dreams are born in concrete and chaos, a revolution was brewing. Not just a sound, but a movement. One built by rebels, hustlers, and geniuses who refused to be silent. They weren't just rappers, they were architects of an empire. From the underground corners to the global stage, they forged a culture that would change the world forever. This is their story, a saga of grit, vision, and rebellion, where every lyric, every hustle, every empire was born from the streets. Welcome to the world of the true founders. Welcome to the kings who built hip-hop. Before the Grammys, before hip-hop touched the boardrooms, there was a dorm room with a beat machine and a vision. Two names, Russell and Rick. One a streetwise hustler from Highlands, Queens, the other a rock misfit from Long Island. Together, they founded Def Jam Records in 1984. This is their story. Russell Simmons was never meant to be a music mogul. Raised in the gritty streets of Queens, Russell first navigated life through the streets, dealing, dodging, and just simply survived. But deep down inside, he was drawn to the energy bubbling in the parks and the block parties. He wasn't an MC, he wasn't a DJ, he was a visionary, inspired by the rise of Curtis Blow, whom he managed. Russell saw hip-hop not just as a culture, but as a currency. He began promoting shows, managing talent, and speaking fluently in two languages: the hustle of the streets and the hustle of the business and branding. Rick Rubin was a different beast entirely, raised on Black Sabbath, punk rock, and heavy metal. But hip-hop, that's what grabbed him. Not the gloss, not the radio, but the raw. The basement tapes and the underground ciphers. At NYU, he turned his dorm room into a makeshift studio, lying down beats for kids who couldn't afford time in real studios. Rick didn't care about trends. He cared about the energy, the grit, and the soul of the sound. Their first single, It's Yours, by T-La Rock and Jazzy J, was raw and unfiltered. However, it didn't chart. Then came LL Cool J. Rick produced the whole project while Russell managed. Together they helped create. In 1985, Def Jam dropped LL Cool J's classic Radio. Then the Beastie Boys came. White rebellious suburban kids rapping over Rick Rubin distorted beats. The Beastie Boys' License to Ill became the first rap album to go #1 on the Billboard chart. Rick brought the sonic rebellion, Russell brought the strategy and the warpath. Def Jam was no longer a label, it was a movement. By 1986, Def Jam wasn't just dominating, it was defining hip-hop culture. Public Enemy, Slick Rick, EPMD, all artists with a message, artists with edge. But behind the scenes, tension started brewing between Russell and Rick. Rick wanted creative control, Russell wanted to scale the empire. In 1988, Rick Rubin left Def Jam. Rick Rubin became one of the most legendary producers of all time. Meanwhile, Russell doubled down. He kept building, expanding Def Jam into a brand who touched fashion, television, and the global charts. Without Russell and Rick, hip-hop might have stayed underground. A voice ignored, a culture dismissed. They didn't just sell records, they sold belief. From a place where it wasn't supposed to be, billion-dollar dreams. But hey, that's the power of hip-hop.